Hey y'all, it's Christian. I am back with another video. I want to say thank you to everybody who watched last week's video. It was my very first video, my introduction to YouTube. I've gotten so much positive feedback. I appreciate all the love, all the likes. And if you enjoyed that video and this video, be sure to like and subscribe. This week, I want to talk to you guys about something that has affected me during this quarantine, and more than likely, it's affected you or somebody you know. If you got a chance to watch my last video, you know that I was laid off from my remote job back in March, and it was a shock to me. I thought that I was safe because I had this great remote job. I was moving from Nashville to Houston with this job, at least that was the plan anyway, and Corona said, no ma'am, that is not how this is gonna go. And I had to kind of take a step back and figure out what I was going to do. And honestly, I'm still figuring it out as I go. Even though getting laid off from my job was a shock, I have been in this situation before. About 2.5 years ago, I was laid off from another job that I was working, something that was, again, completely out of my control. And I didn't take it so well, honestly. In the beginning, now to my credit, I started out, I was applying to jobs every day. I was on fire. I was like, okay, no problem. I'm gonna hit the ground running and I'm gonna get myself a job. That was my mentality. And it wasn't long after I hit the ground running that I started to just completely burn out. I honestly started to lose confidence. I was applying to jobs still on a daily basis, and I was either getting flat out rejection letters from them or I was hearing absolutely nothing, which honestly is probably worse if you ask me. And it was just a blow to my confidence. I stopped applying for jobs. At that time, I wasn't working out. I was eating all of the wrong things. I wasn't reading any books. I wasn't fueling my creativity, singing or writing or any of the things that I love to do. And that was honestly where I went wrong. After I had been out of work for 2 months, I was contacted online by a job that, oddly enough, I didn't even apply for. Long story short, I ended up interviewing with that company. I got the job at that company. I worked there for about a year before I got my remote job. It showed me a few things. It showed me that I don't have nearly as much control over external forces as I think I do. And that when something is supposed to happen, it's gonna happen on God's time. Not on my time, not even on an employer's time. It's gonna absolutely happen in God's perfect timing. The biggest lesson that I took from that entire time is something that my mom actually tells me often. She says, waiting time is not a waste of time, but a matter of time. And so while in the moment, that first month felt long, that second month of unemployment felt extra long, it wasn't a waste of time. It was only a matter of time before that job contacted me. And if nothing else, I can control how I spent that time. And I spent it eating bad foods. I spent it not working out, not reading, not fueling my creativity, not feeding my mind. And it did become a waste of time. It became a waste of time because I wasted my own time. So after going through that 2.5 years ago, I knew that if I was ever put in this situation again, I was going to approach it just completely different than I did the first time. So I have been experiencing what I like to call FunEmployment. And the best way to describe what I look at as my FunEmployment is taking what may look like a waste of time and turning it into time that matters. I decided that I wanted to spend my FunEmployment doing all of the things that bring me joy. I want to spend time pouring into myself and making sure that I'm still growing mentally, physically, spiritually, even though I'm not connected to a company. If you know me, you know that I love to read. I'm an avid reader. I probably average about a book a week, and I'm also guilty of buying books and letting them sit on my shelf while I try and tackle other books. One of the things that I promised myself I was going to do in this quarantine and during my FunEmployment was that I was going to read every book that I own. And the catch is that I'm not allowing myself to buy any more books until I have finished all of my books that I have. I made a list of every book that I own and I started tackling them. I'm averaging now probably about a book a week, and at that rate I've got about 14 weeks to go. I also decided that I wanted to spend my time pouring into something that would help me to secure a job at some point. I decided that I wanted to earn my PHR, which is really exciting. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in human resources when I graduated from LSU, and getting your professional human resources certification is a pretty big step in your HR career. It was really important to me that I spend this time studying for that exam, hopefully earning my certification, so that when it is time to get a job, that's another plus that I can add to my resume and hopefully secure an even better job than I had in mind. When it comes to taking care of myself physically, there is one word, and those of you who know me are probably already guessing the word, but there is one word that comes to mind, and that is Peloton. I am obsessed with Peloton, with the company, with the culture, with the trainers, with the content. I have been a digital member of Peloton for close to a year now, which is really exciting. I work out with Peloton every single day. I have a streak going, y'all, and I'm so serious about it. Fueling my creativity has always been a huge part of who I am. I'm a singer-songwriter, so it's always been really important to me that I'm able to find time to sing, that I'm able to find time to write new songs, that I'm able to find time to listen to new music. And by new music, I mean Hamilton over and over and over and over, but I digress. In a time like this, in the middle of a pandemic, it's really important to continue to find outlets and avenues to express your creativity, and you just don't know how it's going to manifest. So try everything. You don't think you're a singer, but try to write a song, try to sing something, try karaoke on YouTube. That, I'm telling you, is therapeutic. You may not be a painter, buy a canvas and some paint anyway, buy a coloring book anyway, and you might find something new. Honestly, that sums up my FunEmployment. When you are unemployed, suddenly you have all these hours in the day to fill. Don't feel pressure to fill up your entire day, to schedule it hour by hour. I'm that girl. I'm the problem. It's really me. But I'm telling you this because I've experienced it. Sometimes you feel the need to schedule every waking hour of the day. You have to always be doing something. You have to always be working towards a particular goal. And sometimes if you get up and you take a walk around your block, that's enough. Sometimes if you get up and you dance in your living room with your kids, that's enough. You read a chapter of a book, that's enough. You color for an hour, that's enough. As long as it brings you joy, then you know you're doing the right thing for you. And that's my FunEmployment. I appreciate y'all so much for all of the love on my first video, for reaching out to me and saying that you're excited to see the content that's coming. I'm so excited to share the new content with you. Of course, I release a new video every Wednesday, so subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest uploads. Like, pass it on to a friend. Definitely be sure to connect with me. I have all of my social media down in my description box. I even have my Peloton username, so if you're a digital member, yes, follow me. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. I love you guys so, so much. Till next time.